Hey guys, welcome to this video over inductive and deductive reasoning. Inductive and deductive reasoning oftentimes get mistaken from one another, but the differences are pretty crucial to understand. One type of reasoning guarantees a right conclusion, and the other type gives you a, most likely kind of answer. Part of the reason these two types of reasonings get confused is because a lot of us will have used the type of reasoning that gives us the most likely conclusion, but try and pass it off as a guaranteed right conclusion. There are multiple problems with doing this, but one of the problems with doing this is that it has seemed to muddy the right understanding and use of these two reasonings. So let's define each reasoning and look at some examples. First, deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning begins with a premise that is valid to reinforce or develop a right and official conclusion. When working out math problems, you're using deductive reasoning. For example, x equals b equals 1. Therefore, x is equal to 1. Here's an example of deductive reasoning that is not math. All living things need water to survive. Frogs are a living organism. Therefore, frogs need water to survive. You can see in each of these examples, the conclusion is built on an objectively true premise and minor premise. Deductive reasoning is commonly referred to as top-down logic, and this name helps to give us a really helpful, I think at least, visual of how deductive reasoning works. So you have a pyramid. You start with a general truth, which is at the bottom of the pyramid. Then you move to a premise that fits within the general truth, but is a little more specific. Maybe you want to include another true premise that fits within the general truth. Lastly, you end with your conclusion. It may be helpful to think of it as beginning with generalities and ending with a very specific conclusion. When using deductive reasoning, your conclusion is guaranteed to be true as long as your premises are also true. Inductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning works backwards from deductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning begins with specifics and concludes with generalities. For example, when you have specific data and you move to make a general conclusion based on that specific data. Here are a couple examples of inductive reasoning. You're a soccer player and you're tall. Therefore, all soccer players must be tall. All of my brothers are athletic. Therefore, all boys are athletic. You can see in each of these examples how it starts out very specific and moves to a generality. Inductive reasoning is commonly referred to as bottom-up reasoning because it starts out trying to prove a specific conclusion from the get-go. So let's look at our triangle again, except this time we start from the top and work our way down to the bottom. Inductive reasoning will start with a conclusion, then move to a specific instance. Perhaps a second specific instance will be provided. Finally, a generalization is made from the specific instances. When using inductive reasoning, you are, at best, guaranteed a probable conclusion. I hope that this video over inductive and deductive reasoning helped to clear up any confusion. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for further videos. See you guys next time.